This is a speech I had intended to give at the Pride Center of Staten Island, but didn't. Hello. For those who don't know me, my name is Pete. I stand before you today wearing a few different titles. I am a veteran officer of the United States Army Nurse Corps, who the Army sent to the Paramedic Academy at Fort Staten in Queens back in the early 90s. I am a retired psychiatric nurse clinician with a 38-year career in public service. I am an elder here at Pride Center of Staten Island, and I am a survivor. When people look at a military officer or a veteran nurse, they often see a uniform of absolute stoicism. For decades, I wore that uniform perfectly. I was a master at masking pain, burying emotions, and pushing forward. But 5 years ago, in 2021, at the age of 56, that mask crumbled. My body was failing me. I had endured advanced BPH and a TERP surgery, challenges that I still face today in even more extreme ways. I reached a point where I realized I had lost the ability to make up for decades of missed experiences. Faced with that reality, I made a choice for my own psychological survival. I decided to finally allow a part of my identity to exist. After 56 years of being locked away in a closet of my own design, watching self-loathing slowly digest parts of who I was, I came out as a member of the LGBTQIA+ community. And when I took that terrifying step, the Pride Center was right here to support me. I came to this community as an elder, but with the childlike curiosity of a life I had never been allowed to know. What I found shocked me. I saw common heartbreaking themes that I recognized instantly. Deep loneliness and the constant suffocating feeling of never being enough. But coming out was only one piece of the battle. Today, I live with a traumatic brain injury and severe PTSD. I want to be entirely clear. My disability and my PTSD are not military service connected. They are the result of an unjustified criminal assault on the last day of my nursing career. I am the worst case scenario for a healthcare professional. Someone who simply went to work one random day and through an act of violence became the person before you now. Losing the life I knew, the life I wanted, and being left to struggle for survival against the systemic barriers of workers' comp. Because of this brain injury, I don't always speak well. But instead of hiding away because I am embarrassed, I choose to stand right here. I'm sitting now. I choose to be the voice for those who are unwilling or unable to advocate for themselves. I will not be invisible. My time in public service and the military taught me discipline and honor. Those values have not only kept me alive, they have granted me a fierce, unyielding sense of protectiveness over anyone who has ever been subjected to the cruelty, hatred, speculation, or misinformation of others. I know firsthand that wrongful assumptions lead directly to discrimination. I have been victimized by it, and because I know that pain, I will do anything humanly possible to help, defend, and protect the most marginalized and vulnerable community, the LGBTIA plus community. My empathy and advocacy for disabled veterans living with PTSD is greater now than it has ever been. With the current devastating cuts to budgets and programs, disabled veterans who are suffering in silence will never be heard. I am here to tell you today, I am not alone, and neither is any disabled veteran struggling in the dark. After my assaults, my internal monologue became so damaged and toxic that I planned my end. I almost completed it. Instead, in the absolute extremes of loss, pain, and trauma, I awakened. I had to learn how to do something I spent 38 years teaching patience, but never knew how to do for myself. How to have grace, how to have self-compassion, how to actually care about my own life. Suicide prevention and harm reduction are at the absolute core of my storytelling, my advocacy, and everything I do or say. Our internal narratives matter because assumptions carry an immense, dangerous weight in this world. I have one inflexible rule that anyone watching, listening, or engaging with my story must know. No money, gifts, services, or payment of any kind will be accepted for anything I do or say, as I operate on a different frequency, since a near-death experience changed me in many ways. I have no lawsuit, nothing to market, and no book to sell. I am only an influencer of one, myself. I believe in education, suicide prevention, and harm reduction. Anyone living with the invisible syndrome of any type of brain disorder, or many like me, are the ones who struggle, and the world never knows how hard it is to fit in when you feel like an outsider. Fear of judgment, embarrassment, not being accepted or validated, that and other challenges fitting into a normal person's world. The end result is loneliness and being trapped inside one's own head. And I've been there to that mental place. There are some extreme mental places I can discuss in an educational lens that I have experienced and would share with other clinicians or students, someone intrigued by neuroscience, psychology, or the basics of rebuilding a broken psyche from scratch and not becoming impulsive and throwing everything away ever. Thank you for your time, your courage, and for being the space that turned my survival into an awakening. I mean it. Thank you.